True greatness is built in silence. It is not born from loud declarations, public recognition, or constant validation. It is crafted in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the lights are off, and the crowd is gone. Greatness grows in the dark, in the silence between effort and achievement, where discipline, patience, and faith meet, in a world that glorifies noise, where everyone wants to be seen, heard, and noticed. It takes strength to stay silent and focused on the work. The silent worker doesn't need an audience, because the satisfaction comes not from attention, but from progress. Silence becomes the training ground where character is shaped and dreams are refined. When you work in silence, you learn to trust the process instead of craving the praise. You begin to understand that results take time, and that every great success story has chapters that no one will ever read. The long nights of study, the quiet mornings of practice, the failures that no one claps for, those are the roots that hold greatness steady when the winds of life blow. You cannot fake what you have built in silence. You cannot buy it or borrow it. It is earned through unseen consistency and unshakable commitment. The world only sees the bloom, but the real magic happens beneath the surface, where the roots dig deep into struggle, sacrifice, and self-discipline. Working in silence also builds humility. It reminds you that success is not about proving others wrong, but about proving yourself right. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, you start gaining power over your own path. Silence strips away the distractions of comparison and competition. It teaches you to listen to your instincts, your heart, and your purpose. In silence, there is focus, and in focus, there is growth. Every time you choose to keep your head down and continue working, you are planting the seeds of a future that will one day speak louder than words ever could. The ones who achieve greatness are often misunderstood at first. While others are busy showing off their progress, the silent worker is still grinding, improving, learning, and preparing. They are not concerned with being noticed. They are concerned with being ready. Because when opportunity finally arrives, it does not knock twice. It rewards those who were already prepared in the dark. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have done the work. You don't need to announce it. It shows in your presence, in your results, and in the way you handle success. True greatness does not need to shout. It simply stands tall. Silence also protects your dreams. When you speak too soon, you invite doubt, negativity, and distraction. Some people will never understand your vision, and their disbelief can plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. But when you work quietly, your energy stays pure. You guard your purpose from unnecessary opinions and outside noise. You give your dreams time to grow strong enough to face the world. Silence, then, becomes not just a discipline, but a shield, a way to protect your vision until it is ready to shine. Every moment spent in silent effort is a declaration of faith. Faith that your time will come. Faith that the effort you put in today will echo in your tomorrow. It's easy to quit when no one is watching, but that is exactly when winners are made. Greatness requires patience. It requires believing that even when the world does not see your progress, something powerful is happening beneath the surface. You are becoming sharper, wiser, stronger. You are building a foundation that no applause can replace and no setback can destroy. The silence that once felt lonely becomes sacred, because it is there that you meet your truest self, the version of you who refuses to give up, who keeps going when no one claps, who works not for attention but for purpose. True greatness is not built on the noise of the world. It is built on the quiet determination of the heart. It is built on faith that the work you do in private will one day speak for you in public. The silent hours, the unnoticed effort, the quiet sacrifices, these are not wasted moments. They are the very moments that shape destiny. The world may not hear the sound of your effort, but it will feel the impact of your results. You don't need to announce your progress, because real progress does not depend on attention. It depends on consistency. In a world where people rush to post every small achievement, every minor step forward, It takes courage to stay silent and focused. The need to announce progress often comes from a desire for validation, the subtle wish for others to acknowledge our effort. But the truth is, external validation can never replace inner growth. When you constantly share your progress, you risk losing focus on the actual work. You start performing for others instead of improving for yourself. True growth happens when you learn to be content with the quiet rhythm of your journey, when you can look in the mirror and know that you are moving forward without needing an audience to confirm it. There is a special kind of power in silence. When you don't announce your every move, you create mystery, and in that mystery lies focus. You are not distracted by opinions, doubts, or unnecessary noise. You are free to make mistakes, learn, and adjust without anyone watching or judging. The quiet worker holds an advantage, because while others are busy talking, they are building. They are not wasting energy explaining what they will do. They are using that energy to actually do it. The results eventually become the announcement. The success becomes the statement. Silence is not weakness, it is a strategy. It is a discipline that allows you to keep your energy contained until it transforms into something undeniable. When you work in silence, you protect your momentum. Every time you talk about what you are going to do, a small part of the energy that was meant for action turns into words. It feels good to share your plans, but that satisfaction is temporary. The brain registers the act of speaking about your goal as a partial achievement, which can make you less motivated to actually do it. That is why the most disciplined people protect their goals like secrets. They understand that silence keeps the fire alive. The fewer people who know what you are working on, the fewer opinions, distractions, and negative energies you have to face. Progress thrives in peace, not in noise. You also don't need to announce your progress, because genuine success will speak for itself. You never see a tree shouting as it grows. It simply rises, quietly and steadily, until it stands tall enough for everyone to see. The same is true for your journey. If you keep showing up, keep learning, keep refining your craft, the results will make all the noise you will ever need. When you finally reach your goal, the people who doubted you, ignored you, or overlooked you will see your success, and that will be your loudest announcement. Let your work become your voice. Let your actions speak in ways words never could. Silence also teaches patience. It forces you to slow down and focus on the process rather than the praise. When you are not constantly looking for approval, you begin to value growth for its own sake. You start to enjoy the small victories that no one sees, the extra hour of effort, the moment when you master a skill, the quiet confidence that builds within you. This internal satisfaction is far more rewarding than any compliment from others. It stays with you longer. It builds a foundation of self-trust that no opinion can shake. The one who works in silence learns to find motivation within, not from likes, applause, or recognition. There is another reason not to announce your progress. Not everyone will understand or support it. Some people will doubt you, some will envy you, and some will try to discourage you simply because they cannot see your vision. When you reveal your plans too early, you open the door for negativity to enter. Doubt spreads quickly, and it can weaken your resolve if you are not careful. Protecting your progress means protecting your peace. It means guarding your dreams from unnecessary noise until they are strong enough to withstand criticism. There will come a time to share your success, but that time is after you have built something solid, something real, something that cannot be shaken by others' opinions. Working quietly also allows you to surprise people. There is something powerful about letting your results arrive unannounced. When people least expect it, your progress appears like a sunrise, sudden, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. You don't have to convince anyone that you're growing. Your transformation will make that clear. Let them see the new version of you, not the process that created it. The process is personal. The results are public. In the end, you don't need to announce your progress, because what matters most is that you know it's happening. You can feel it in the way you think, the way you act, the way you handle challenges. You become calmer, stronger, more focused. Progress is not always visible, but it is always real when it comes from genuine effort. The quiet hours you spend improving yourself will eventually echo in everything you do. The people who talk less often achieve more because their energy stays where it belongs, inside the work. Hardship builds strength, ease destroys it. It is one of life's greatest paradoxes that the very things we try to avoid are often the things that make us who we are meant to be. Hardship molds character in ways comfort never can. When everything comes easily, there is no reason to grow, no reason to push beyond what is already known. Ease makes us soft, complacent, and dependent on circumstances. Hardship, on the other hand, forces us to dig deep into our inner strength, to find parts of ourselves that we never knew existed. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of pain becomes a teacher, shaping us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient versions of ourselves. When life is easy, we tend to take things for granted. We stop being hungry for improvement. Comfort lulls us into believing that what we have will always be enough. But life is not designed to be easy. It is designed to help us evolve. The moments that test you are the ones that prepare you. They teach patience when nothing seems to work, endurance when you want to quit, and humility when things don't go your way. It's in those seasons of struggle that you learn how much you can truly handle. Strength is not born in moments of comfort. It is built in the weight of resistance. Just like muscles grow only when they are pushed beyond their limits, your spirit strengthens only when it faces pressure. Without hardship, there is no growth. Without challenge, there is no breakthrough. Every great story has moments of suffering because those moments define the hero. Hardship strips away the unnecessary, the shallow layers of pride, ego, and entitlement, revealing the truth about who we really are. It forces you to rely not on luck, but on discipline. It demands that you show up even when you don't feel like it. Every failure becomes a lesson, every delay a chance to learn patience, every rejection a redirection towards something better. You begin to see that pain has a purpose, that the struggle is not there to break you, but to shape you. What once felt like punishment starts to feel like preparation. Ease, on the other hand, can be dangerous. When life is too easy, we lose the urgency to grow. We settle for average. We stop challenging ourselves, and soon the very comfort we crave becomes our cage. Ease whispers to us that we have done enough, that we can rest on what we already know, that we no longer need to fight. But the truth is, nothing in life stays still. If you are not growing, you are shrinking. If you are not moving forward, you are falling behind. Comfort gives the illusion of safety, but it quietly erodes strength, discipline, and ambition. The more we avoid struggle, the weaker we become. It's not because life becomes harder, but because we become softer. The strongest people are not those who have lived the easiest lives, but those who have faced adversity and refused to surrender. They've learned to find peace in chaos, to keep going when the path is unclear, to rise after every fall. They know that the struggle does not last forever, but the lessons it leaves behind do. They understand that every storm they survive adds another layer of resilience. Pain builds endurance. Loss builds gratitude. Failure builds wisdom. Hardship becomes the fire that refines, the pressure that creates diamonds, the storm that strengthens roots. When you face difficulty, it's easy to ask, why me? But a better question is, what is this trying to teach me? Every hardship carries a lesson hidden within it. Sometimes it teaches patience, sometimes it teaches perspective, sometimes it simply teaches you that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You can either let hardship harden you or strengthen you. The choice is yours. But no matter what form it takes, loss, rejection, failure, disappointment, it is always an invitation to rise higher. Ease will never give you that gift. Ease might keep you comfortable, but it will never make you powerful. Strength is not inherited. It is earned through the things you survive. Every challenge builds a new layer of endurance. Every obstacle forces you to grow a little tougher. Every hardship prepares you for something greater. When life feels heavy, remember that pressure is a sign of potential. The greater the pressure, the greater the growth that awaits on the other side. Hardship is not your enemy. It is the silent architect of your strength. It pushes you to your limits, only to show you that your limits were never real. It is through struggle that you find purpose, and it is through pain that you discover power. Believing in yourself when no one else does is one of the hardest, yet most powerful acts of courage a person can perform. It is easy to have faith when others cheer for you, when people clap for your success, and when your path seems clear. But true belief, the kind that transforms lives, comes when the world turns its back on you, when the doors close, and when even the people you counted on stop believing in your vision. In those moments, you stand alone, and your belief becomes your only light in the darkness. That inner faith is what separates those who give up from those who rise. It is not arrogance, it is not ego, it is quiet confidence rooted in the understanding that your worth does not depend on anyone's validation. It is the voice inside you whispering, "Keep going," even when everything around you says stop. There will be times when people will not understand your dreams. They will doubt your abilities, your plans, and your potential. Sometimes they will even laugh at your ambition because they cannot see what you see. But remember, they are not meant to. Your vision was given to you, not to them. The fire that burns inside you is yours alone to nurture. If you wait for others to approve of it, it will die before it ever gets the chance to shine. The world often doubts what it does not understand. People project their own fears, failures, and insecurities onto others, and if you are not strong enough to believe in yourself, their doubt will infect your spirit. You must protect your confidence the way you protect your dreams. It is your shield against the noise of the world. When no one believes in you, that is the moment you must believe the most. Belief becomes a form of rebellion. It becomes the declaration that no matter what happens, you will not give up on yourself. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary has faced disbelief. The inventors, the artists, the dreamers, the leaders, all of them were once told they couldn't do it. But they kept going because their self-belief was stronger than the voices of doubt. The greatest victories are born in silence, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, and when the only person who sees the vision is you. That is the space where faith is tested, where character is built, and where strength is born. Believing in yourself is not about pretending that everything will always work out. It's about trusting that no matter what happens, you will find a way through it. It's knowing that even if you fall, you can get back up. It's about understanding that failure is not the end, but a part of the journey. People may give up on you because they cannot see your growth in real time. They might mistake your struggle for weakness. But what they don't see is the resilience you're building, the lessons you're learning, and the courage that's forming inside you. Every setback you survive makes your belief stronger. Every time you stand back up, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Sometimes the people closest to you will doubt you the most. It hurts, but it's natural. They judge you by who you've been, not by who you're becoming. They cannot see the work you're doing inside your own heart. But you cannot let their limited vision define your potential. You must keep believing in the unseen version of yourself, the person you're growing into. When you keep moving forward despite the lack of support, you are teaching yourself self-trust. You are learning that you don't need to be understood to make progress, and you don't need to be praised to be powerful. Belief is like a muscle, it grows with resistance. The more you face doubt, the stronger your inner faith becomes. When others stop believing, that's when your belief must double. When the applause fades, your determination must grow louder inside you. Self-belief gives you the courage to take risks, to keep going after rejection, to start again when everything falls apart. It gives you a quiet confidence that says, "I'll make it, even if no one believes I will." That mindset turns obstacles into lessons and loneliness into focus. It transforms rejection into redirection. The truth is, you cannot control who believes in you, but you can control how much you believe in yourself. And when you keep believing, something magical happens. The world eventually catches up. The same people who once doubted you will later call you lucky, not realizing that it wasn't luck at all. It was belief, persistence, and the courage to keep walking when no one walked with you. Chasing purpose instead of attention is one of the deepest lessons a person can learn in life. Attention is loud, temporary, and dependent on others, while purpose is quiet, lasting, and rooted deep within yourself. When you chase attention, you are constantly seeking approval from the outside world. You begin to measure your worth by how many people notice you, how many applaud you, and how many validate your existence. But attention fades quickly, the crowd moves on, the applause stops, and the spotlight shifts. When your motivation depends on attention, your confidence will rise and fall with the opinions of others. You will find yourself chasing an endless cycle of recognition that never truly satisfies the soul. Purpose, on the other hand, gives meaning to your effort even when nobody is watching. It gives direction to your journey and peace to your heart. Purpose doesn't scream for acknowledgement. It simply lives in the quiet certainty that what you are doing matters. When you live with purpose, you don't need an audience to keep you going. Your motivation comes from within, not from the noise of approval. Purpose makes you steady. It allows you to keep working even when you're invisible to the world. You wake up knowing that your actions have value because they align with something bigger than fame or recognition. Attention is about being seen. Purpose is about being significant. You can be famous and meaningless, or you can be purposeful and unforgettable. The difference lies in where your heart is pointed. When your energy is focused on purpose, you build something that lasts long after the crowd forgets your name. Attention is a short-term reward, but purpose is a lifelong mission. Many people waste their energy trying to be noticed rather than trying to be impactful. They shape their actions, words, and even personalities around what will attract eyes rather than what will fulfill their calling. But the truth is, attention is fragile. The same people who cheer for you today can criticize you tomorrow. Their love is conditional. It changes with trends, moods, and convenience. If your identity depends on being noticed, then it is not truly yours. It belongs to everyone who has an opinion about you. Purpose frees you from that prison. It gives you a reason to keep going even when no one applauds. It allows you to do good work in silence because you are not working for claps. You are working for meaning. Living for attention makes you restless. It fills you with anxiety because you are always trying to maintain an image. You constantly worry about being liked, being relevant, being accepted. But living for purpose brings peace. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You simply move with intention. Every action becomes part of a bigger story that aligns with your values. You learn to measure success not by popularity, but by impact. You stop asking, "Do they see me?" and start asking, "Am I doing what I was meant to do?" That shift changes everything. It turns insecurity into confidence, comparison into focus, and fear into courage. Attention seeks to be admired, while purpose seeks to serve. The most fulfilled people in the world are not the ones who are most famous or most followed. They are the ones who wake up every day knowing they are contributing something meaningful. When your actions are guided by purpose, even small victories feel significant. You stop chasing the next big thing just to stay noticed, because you understand that your worth is not tied to visibility. You begin to find joy in the process instead of waiting for recognition. The satisfaction of doing something that matters is deeper than any praise you could receive. Chasing purpose also builds endurance. Attention is fueled by excitement and emotion, but purpose is fueled by commitment. When things get hard, attention-driven people quit because the applause disappears. But those who are driven by purpose keep going. They understand that their mission is bigger than their comfort. Purpose gives you patience through the struggle, discipline through the delay, and hope through the silence. It reminds you that the journey itself is the reward, that every effort, every failure, every small step is a part of fulfilling something meaningful. In the end, purpose leaves a legacy, while attention leaves an echo. The world remembers people not for how many times they were seen, but for what they stood for, what they built, and how they made others feel. Purpose is what gives depth to success, while attention only decorates it. When you chase purpose, you no longer compete with others. You align with your calling. You move differently, think differently, and live differently. You stop rushing for recognition and start building for eternity. Purpose makes you timeless because it connects you to something that doesn't fade when the crowd moves on. It makes your life not just visible, but valuable. Letting your results make the noise means trusting your work to speak for itself instead of constantly speaking for your work. It is the art of quiet confidence, the discipline of focusing on action over announcement. In a world where everyone is eager to show their progress, to post their achievements, to tell people how hard they are working, the person who stays silent and consistent stands apart. True success doesn't need to shout, it shines on its own. When your results begin to appear, they carry more weight than any promise or boast ever could. Words can be doubted, but results cannot be denied. They are the undeniable proof of dedication, the visible outcome of invisible effort. Working in silence allows your energy to be spent where it matters, on the work itself, not on convincing people that you are doing it. The beauty of letting your results make the noise lies in patience. It requires the understanding that everything meaningful takes time to grow. The farmer doesn't dig up his seeds every day to show the world what he planted. He waters them quietly and lets the harvest do the talking. In the same way, your progress may not be visible immediately, but if you keep nurturing your craft, your time will come. When the results finally bloom, they will speak louder than any self-promotion ever could. People respect results because they are real. They come from consistency, from staying committed when others quit, from choosing effort over excuses. Talking might bring you temporary attention, but only results bring you lasting credibility. You can't fake excellence for long. Eventually, your work will reveal the truth. Letting your results speak is also about humility. It's understanding that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to broadcast every small win to feel validated. When you are truly focused on growth, you become less concerned about being seen and more interested in becoming skilled. You stop chasing praise and start chasing mastery. You begin to realize that silence doesn't mean weakness. It means strength under control. The loudest people are often the least certain of themselves. Those who know what they're doing don't have to announce it. They simply do it. The quiet worker finds power in restraint, in letting success be the only response to doubt or criticism. When your work speaks, it leaves no room for argument. Results silence opinions. Another reason to let your results make the noise is because it keeps you grounded. Fame, attention, and applause can easily distract you from the real mission. They can make you comfortable too soon, satisfied with recognition instead of progress.